Welcome to America's Third Party Part 3. I'm David Sponheim, and this is a new America. We are facing massive amounts of censorship tonight. Yeah, believe it or not, we're touching on issues that are pretty disturbing. The idea that Iran claims that no missile hit their plane. We just looked at a missile clearly hitting the plane. This BBC feed shows a missile hitting the plane, the 737 carrying 176 passengers, as well as crew members. You're going to see up close, clearly, some object heading into the airspace of this missile, or of the plane. Here we go. This footage may show a strike on the Ukrainian plane over Iran. There's a close-up of it. So you clearly see from that close-up, a light can be seen moving off to the left. About 10 seconds later, an explosion can be heard 24 seconds later, which means there's a lapse between the actual sight and the sound. Obviously, light travels a lot faster than sound does. So, a missile did go off in that region, and there was an attack. All right. You're asking me to play the Cairo 7 link? Sure. This is a video that happened to me about 4 years ago. Our home was swatted, and I understand that the link was taken off the internet, so let me put it back on the internet. Best thing to do is to show you what happened to me during this time period. Here it was, and here's another opportunity for you to see the show of when we were swatted, because I understand there's no more copies on the internet. I'll put this on.
So I went outside and I immediately saw a sting operation in my neighborhood.
The SWAT team had a controversial politician surrounded Friday night. They raced to his house thinking he'd stabbed his girlfriend to death, but it was a prank call. Authorities are looking for a man who called in the fake hostage situation.
And that call resulted in a SWAT situation outside the home of a third-party presidential candidate on Whidbey Island. Cairo 7's Natasha Chen found out this is not the first time that candidate has been targeted.
The process was, she was ahead of me and she had to lay down. And then I had to lay down, and then they cuffed me.
One moment, David Sponheim was inside his home doing his nightly video chat with supporters. The next moment, he was on the ground in his driveway with SWAT surrounding him.
It was almost surreal.
It was all because of this call.
Okay, and you said you just stabbed your girlfriend?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think she's dead. Her nieces are tied up in the bathroom right now.
Okay, well listen, what's your name?
Her name is David.
That wasn't him, but the caller gave dispatch Sponheim's address.
This is not the first time Sponheim says he's been the victim of a hoax. Several years ago, he said there was a bomb threat. Then 2 months ago in June, someone called in a threat, again pretending to be him.
It's evil in the sense that it's a sick joke. It's a sick hoax that people are trying to, they think it's funny.
Even though Sponheim says he gave the sheriff deputies his phone number during the last hoax, the sheriff told me they somehow didn't store it in their system. Sponheim says detectives should have realized it was a prank because they even got on Sponheim's live video chat to ask his partner to call 911. I asked Sponheim whether he's being targeted because of videos he's done in blackface.
It's ironic people don't understand that this country was founded on and predicated on freedom of speech, and my right to impersonate the president was paramount.
But he and the sheriff are frustrated at how these pranks wasted important resources.
You can't possibly expect to get away with it. There's a lot of weirdos out there that are going to come out of the closet thinking that they can take a pot shot at somebody like me.
In Oak Harbor, Natasha Chen, Cairo 7 News.
All right, there you have it. This is a repeat of that video for you, as requested in the chat room. Someone said, how can this happen? It happens all the time. There's probably about 2,000 swattings a year across the nation, and nobody seems to get their rights covered, protected. I tried to contact 3 civil rights attorneys, prominent ones, and not one of them would return my call or my email. I found that rather interesting. And it's interesting to note that the police never filled out a police report on the event. They looked at it as an open-ended case. I see it as an open-ended case too, and that's why there's no statute of limitations on what they did to me. I still see this as an egregious offense. And the fact that they lost all the records I had submitted to their department 5 years prior, that they didn't bother looking to see if it was me or even check my voice online to verify it wasn't me. They set up a perimeter of police, about 15 cops, briefly trained in SWAT attacks. They get like a 2-day weekend training course to do this. And it's like that way all across the country for a lot of people. And I'm lucky because I didn't overreact. People that do oftentimes get killed. And like I said earlier, there's been 1,200 on average people killed by cops, killed by police every year in America. 1,200 people, and more than half of them are unarmed. Nearly a quarter of them are disabled. They can't even comprehend what's going on around them. So our cops are killing people in a nation that's not supposed to have that. When our government decided to retire the posse comitatus law and put it away, it basically said they could arm up our own police departments to make them like an army against our own people, which violates posse comitatus. So we need more than, oh, sure, I'll take a lawyer. I'd love to have a lawyer take this case pro bono, but no one would respond to my case. If we knew who the swatter was, we would have them arrested, but they literally dropped the case. They didn't care. The police haven't contacted me since. Anyway, this is part 3. We had another DDoS attack earlier when I suggested that there was somebody on the ground other than the Iranian people firing on that jet. We got DDoSed. Anyway, I support the police department in general, but I just want to see accountability. So I think a sensitivity training course would be in order for a lot of police, making sure that they don't engage in this type of behavior where they just shoot to kill. Shooting to maim might be better, especially when people are unarmed. Don't you think? Maybe you don't care unless it happens to you. I don't want it to happen to you, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you like my covering my ears. All right. That's just, thank you. 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I really don't like even talking about that swatting. I mean, I know, yes, of course it happened to us, but it was traumatic. It was traumatic, yeah. That's the best way to say it. Anyway, moving on. Oh my goodness, wow, politic love. Yeah, it's just anything involving a gun being pointed in your direction would be dramatic, yeah. Thank you. I felt badly for the... I actually felt bad for the... Never mind, I shouldn't say that. Pretty easily. A classroom full of children. Your 3 kids are out of control. I would say the big thing about your kids being out of control is like, ask them, what could you be doing right now? And have a conversation with your kids and talk to them like they're almost like they're adults. I mean, there's certain things that you don't want to talk to them about with like scary things happening in the world or adult relationships or anything like that. But, as far as just treat them like human beings and talk to them about what you appreciate about your kids and tell them that their behavior frustrates you or that it's not appropriate behavior and I would say that with my students, I'm like, well, we set ground rules to start with, and then we model expectations. Like I will say, this is what I expect you to be doing right now. Everybody needs to come sit at the carpet and we need to talk, and I'll read to them, and then I teach them. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's not that difficult to control. Sometimes I can imagine like 3 kids just running around screaming could be difficult, but there's no structure in the home. Then you've got to say, hey, what would a safe house look like to you? So in our school, we talk about there's 4 big things and you can actually narrow it down to 3. You can have 3 basic rules. Be safe, be responsible, and show respect. 3 basic rules. And then they could be like, what does it mean to be safe in the house? And where should you run around? Where should you run? Actually, my sister, bless her, it was pretty interesting because I can manage a house full of a classroom. It is funny because I can manage a classroom, but then when I went to my sister's house, she had like 4 kids, just like 3 or 4 kids running around in her house. And it actually did seem more stressful with that than it did in my classroom. I think with the classroom, you have to the kids come in on the first day and they're like, new environment, like, what do I do? And so in the new classroom, the first thing we do is we establish rules. But my sister was like, all the kids were running around. She's like, come here right now. And then I was like, oh, I guess running around wasn't the big deal, but some of them started screaming. And so she had them all line up. And then I talked to them about where is it okay to scream? And you could scream on a roller coaster and talk about the things. Where is it okay to do those things? Is it okay to do that in a house? Is it okay to do that even in a neighborhood? And where is it okay to run? And you should run out on a playground, not in a house or in an area. There should just be, and talk to your kids about, hey, what kind of household would you like? Would you like a safe house? Would you like a responsible? Yeah, be safe. Number 1, be safe. Is what your children doing safe? Is what your children doing showing respect? We actually have 4. The 4th one is pursue excellence, but is what they're doing responsible? Not always, G. Gordon Liddy. Can I listen to Take 5 tonight when I go to bed? What is Take 5? And maybe you should, if you say, how do I tell my wife that? Say, wife, I really appreciate all that first. And then there's this other thing, which is, there's this really cool thing called PBIS, positive behaviors, interventions, and supports. And also there's this really great, I guess, psychologist, or anyway, there's a guy named John Gottman. He said he can determine whether people will stay together or get divorced by watching like a 5 to 10 minute conversation and analyzing how many positive to negative interactions happen. And if people really want to have a good relationship with their significant other, they should have 4 to 5 positive interactions to any negative interaction. So make a list of all the things you appreciate about your wife. I really appreciate you handling the kids before I get home. I really appreciate whatever, anything little that your wife does. Talk to her about what you appreciate, and then say, and talk about your concerns. I'm concerned that the kids seem like it's really difficult to manage them for you and for me both. And what do we want in our house? And I think it's good to have rules. I wouldn't say Lord Dave. I would say there are things I appreciate about David. I appreciate that David cooks. I appreciate that David keeps a very orderly house, a clean house. He does a really great job. I appreciate that David maintains the house. He does an excellent job of keeping the cars clean. He goes out and like washes my car and cleans it and vacuums my car. And I do appreciate David's steadfast love. He really does love me and shows me he loves me. And one thing, if you have an issue with a significant other, I say that you should dedicate yourself to giving, even if don't expect a return, but give your spouse a 5 to 10 minute back rub. I mean, just 5 minutes of your day. It's really like, well, I would used to say it would be like commercials, but it's just not that long, but it really makes a huge difference to really give oh, thanks, Medverall. Yeah, and hug them but definitely give them a rub. You work 12 hours a day and you do all the housework? Both? You need to treat yourself to a massage, I guess, a professional massage if you're not getting anything else. But, I think the other thing, if you work 12-hour days, that one thing that, and how many children? You said 3 children, is being able to spend, if you can, be able to spend some time with each of your children. I remember my dad, like, he worked a lot. He used to get jobs because there were a lot of his children. He used to get jobs where he said he remembered going up to jobs and would say, how much overtime can I get during the interview process, because he felt like he had to work so much to support all of us children. And so, of course, he worked Saturdays and he worked late nights. But one thing he would do on Saturdays is each Saturday he would like take one of us with him to work. And he felt like that was, helping my mom out. But also, it really helped us build a relationship with our father. And so being able to take time to spend time with your child, I think that's really important. Especially if the children are in the summer. I know Martin Luther King Jr. holidays coming up, and if there's any day that your child doesn't have to go to school, but you have to go to work, I mean, of course, I know you have to clear it with your employer, but having your child come to work and see what you do and talk to your kids and be honest and talk to them about money and how, hey, I have to work to be able to put a roof over your head, and it really helps so that your children aren't just greedy and want everything all the time. Yeah, and I know. And how much about food? And one of the other things you can do, even with your children, if your children are 8 years old or older, have them build a budget and take them shopping with you. I don't mean shopping for like, I want a toy. No, it's like, hey, this is how much we have to spend on groceries. And can you help me figure out how we can spend this on groceries and still have good meals? I want to go to McDonald's, but like help them figure out like living life and help them figure out how it is to pay bills. They're really little. So the other thing I sometimes do as in a classroom is I keep my students in my classroom as much as possible so they can hear my teaching, but that doesn't mean they have to sit in the desk or the table. So I will say, you need to stand out where you're watching me, but you're not going to sit in a desk right at this moment because you're not making a smart choice. But the thing is, you say that your children are little now, but the thing is, even children as young as, I would say, 3 years old should learn to start cleaning up their own messes and take responsibility for their own messes. They're the ones that make the mess. They need to learn how to clean up their mess. No, Willie, I don't do that. Well, that's Christian school, G. Gordon Liddy. So you have a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old. I have a student that has like a 3-year-old sibling and a 1.5-year-old sibling, and sometimes they model themselves after their younger siblings instead of set the example of what they should do. But you can limit, I know parents want the best for their kids, right? They want to provide as much as they possibly can for their children, but you don't have to like spoil them. Like, you don't have to buy them every single toy, because make sure that they can put away the toys that they have. If they can't organize the toys that they have, then they don't need that many toys. Another thing that is, I went on this Marie Kondo kick about sparking joy, and like you get all your items together and you put it in a pile. She has a video on Netflix too. It's and she has a great book called The Magic of Tidying Up. But first she starts with clothes, and she puts all her clothes in one big pile, and she holds up each item and says, does this spark joy? And if not, then she gets rid of it. And you can encourage kids, 4-year-olds and 7-year-olds, to do this. It's like keeping their area clean and organized. And then reading with your children is a huge thing that you can do. Actually, reading a good book and like changing your voice will engage your 2-year-old, your 4-year-old, your 7-year-old. Like reading them a bedtime story every night and making sure you have like a routine. Hey, dad's here, or mom's here from work. you're here from work, so therefore it's time for yeah, well, you need to be honest with your wife then. Your wife wants to more and you can't keep up. You need to say, "Hey, wife, I love you, but this is extremely stressful. And I want to just do what we're doing now and do it in a calm and loving manner." I mean, sometimes I know things get heated and people like just get really angry, but the thing is, if you get angry and she gets angry, you need to be like, take a break till you can come back and talk rationally and talk about your feelings. And one of the things that's really helped me too is say, well, I'm saying a lot because I feel like I'm having a conversation and I feel like I could be interrupted, but that's a normal in a conversation. But if you ask, if your wife's talking and you say, "Are you finished talking?" then it shows respect so she can finish what her thoughts and then you can share your thoughts. You want to get married? That's good. Do I like broccoli? I do like broccoli. I've never had a broccoli burger. You're addicted to reading. Reading is really good. Don't get 2 more jobs. Yeah, but she says she will leave. Has she left? Has she ever left you? Like, just disappeared or gone to her parents or gone to her friends? Or has she ever left? Because maybe, people say things out of like fear or anger or, the other thing is, or were you the one that says it's really difficult to find daycare? But maybe that thing is that you're, she did leave one time, but I think, be honest with her about how that makes you feel. Hey, when you said you wanted to leave or when you did leave, it really made me feel. So there's a thing that is actually, you start with, I felt. If you want to, I felt blank when you blank. I felt really hurt when you left. I feel really upset when you say you want to leave. I feel really overwhelmed by the 3 children that we have right now. I feel really overwhelmed by working 12-hour days and coming home and having to clean up. So did she take the kids with her when she went to her mother's house for 2 months?
They usually do.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Am I okay with gay? I'm not going to tell a person they can't be gay. I mean, if a person wants to be gay, they can be gay. Why would I tell them not to? I mean, what do you mean, am I okay with that? So she went to her mother's house to cool down and to separate from you?
But she came back, and I think maybe it's, it's time to talk and talk honestly about how you guys are feeling. And
feeling, that's the important thing.
Yeah,
talk
really.
About your feelings.
I mean, I know like they talk about couples counseling, but that's expensive. But really, it's just being able to talk with each other about how you're feeling. And if talking turns to anger and arguments, another idea is to start a journal. So like it's a like you to me journal back and forth. So you write her a note and like write her a letter but put it in a journal, and then she can write back to you. And the deal is like, since you go to work so often, that she can't open it until you go to work. So she can't just like attack you. and then you're like, and don't answer phone calls if she's gonna just like attack you. Turn off your phone, turn off your text messages, like ignore it. And then if she does that, you can say, why don't you just write back to me, and then she can write to you, and you can read it when you get home.
She talked to a priest, and they convinced her to go home and try the marriage again. Yeah. Well, that's good. And the important thing is don't overreact to her statements. If you go into an overreaction to her statements, same with her. I mean, if she's overreacting, you're both not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
It's best not to be defensive or overly reactive to what's going on. Just try to deal with her complaints as something that's an ongoing issue that may come up again. Because remember, women don't necessarily want to solve the problem. A lot of the mistakes that go on between men and women is men want to solve a problem. Women just want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's
and this is a common
true.
trait. It's a common thing. And men want to find solutions, and women just want to air their views.
When men want to find solutions, they feel like women often feel like men are just cutting them off. Like, I don't want to talk about this because I just want a solution to it.
Right.
When women just like, they need to talk through their processing their information, and that's why journaling can really help, because then she could just start a journal where she's keeping her own thoughts and working through her own thoughts and not necessarily burdening you with all of them. But
don't worry, be happy says, what if they write you screwed up things and then make you end up unable to go to work because you're so pissed off?
Well, that's why I would say actually turn off your phone and don't check your email, and even write that in the letter to her. Hey, I know this letter might have made you upset. I am purposely not going to be, in order for me to focus on my work and write about how work is for you and how that makes you feel and how that you're stressed out. But in order for you to do your work, you're going to have to not communicate. There you go. But I mean, anyway.
You know, I've been very clear about my position. I'm a heterosexual, but I don't condemn gay people for being gay. But I don't like gay people, approaching me either. That's upsetting. But I'm not lightweight on the issue. I'm pretty much to the right wing of the Democrats on this issue. Whereas Sarah leans more toward the Democrats on that issue, I don't. But I will mute you if you criticize me again in a way that is so denigrating that I have to refuse to even allow your chat in here. It's so wrong. But Sarah's right about working things out slowly.
And another thing that would help is talking about your hopes and dreams. There's 6 areas of that really to set goals in. One is your goals. Well, there's other goals too, but your family goals. What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of family do you want to live in? Who are the people and friends that you want to have in your life? What are your financial goals? So I boil it down to 6 of them, which is, what are your goals for your personal body, like taking care of yourself physically? So mine are body, brain, being, time, money, people. With your body, what kind of physical shape do you want to be in? Brain, what are the things you want to learn? Being, what kind of emotional state do you want? And then time, how do you want to spend your time? Money, how much money do you want to have? And then people, who are the people that are important in your life, and what kind of friendships and family do you want to have? And actually, like, seeing if you could even work on, some people do a vision board where they actually take pictures of things and cut them up and make a whole collage of those kinds of things. But even just writing out the words, for me, is fine. But talking about those. What are your hopes and dreams? And seeing if your hopes and dreams align with her hopes and dreams. It sounds like she wants 2 more children and you would rather not have 2 more children because you're already stressed out from taking care of the children that you currently have.
Yeah, and My Dogs Don't Cry says take away her car privileges and no computers.
Well, and
your wife is not a child. She has her own life. You can't take away her car privileges.
I don't know, because I personally think, like, who paid for the car?
Well, I mean mobility is our right. Transportation
yeah, you
is
got
our
feet.
right. Well, then she will run out the door and never come back. I mean, you
I
don't want
mean,
to trap a person by saying, oh, yeah, we're going to take away your computer, or your communication with the outside world, and you can't drive the car. But you want to come home and work things out and have a good relationship. That's going to seem very overbearing if he does that. Yeah,
I agree with you. That would be overbearing.
Yeah.
Cars, having a car is very freeing, but maybe one of the things that I would say is
fertility.
Encouraging.
I made a new word tonight.
Encourage her to get a job.
Oh yeah, encourage her to get a job. She could become a person.
I mean, my mom, she stayed home and took care of us. But I tell you what, there were times when my mom was working.
She liked it better.
And she was so happy because she felt like she didn't have to go and ask my dad and bother my dad for money.
Yeah.
She felt like this is her money and she could spend it. And my dad kind of said, well, of course I'm still going to take care of all the bills like I normally take care of. So whatever money you make is like, you can do what you want. And it gave her this free sense of independence. And then she got this sense, like, especially if you have children that are like difficult, that she had some time. Her work time was kind of her peace time. Mm-hmm. And anyway, I think just a part-time job.
It gave her purpose, and the thing is, people who are working are more proud with their life. They're more thankful they have money coming in. Whereas if you're not working, you feel kind of crappy. I can tell you that's very true with people who are not working. They lose self-esteem.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, I'm leaving too.
Okay, you guys can go to sleep and get some rest. You've been working all week, and I've been having nothing but nonstop conversations on the internet. And this is part of my retirement plan. So you'll thank me.
Oh, wait, what? Alcoholic?
What?
That kind of drinker?
Yeah, we don't like...
Then you might want to consider... Then the only other thing I would say, if your spouse is a drinker, there's an organization called Al-Anon you might want to look into.
Yeah, so she's an alcoholic. Now we're finding this out now. Is that it?
I don't know. It says...
She's an alcoholic and she drinks.
She's a...
Okay.
She's a drinker,
This is not working out for him. Well, good luck. And thank you, Sarah, for all that helpful information.
You just have to maybe think about what you want in life. Is your love for her, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not a counselor. Take advice from others.
Okay, well, no, Sarah and I are not counselors. We're just giving you tidbits along the way. And Sarah gets a lot of information from reading, which many of us don't necessarily do. She listens to books on tape, and she gets a lot of information. And she's really a font of information about this, taking care of you and your relationship. Iran crash hoax, phony missile theory. Okay, now we've got people debunking the missile theory, even though we saw photographs of something which could have been photoshopped. It's true. But Jeffersonian Gal has something now regarding that. Now, because I've been DDoSed 3 times tonight, I will not play that right now in the screen. But we will feature Jeffersonian Girl at the end of our show, just like we did last night. And again, all our 153 links are available at this location. Let me click you to the 153 section. It's a really good section. If you want to watch alternative movies 153 News is fantastic, and these are the movies that have been culled from the 153 News site by Scissorfight and a few others. But here is the link to 153 News and all the videos out there. And I'll be adding Jeffersonian Girls video tonight to that link as well. So I added this as a 153 News link. So keeping track of those things, and I'm backup copying everything that I can on that site, because I don't know how long 153 News will be in operation in lieu of all the different censorship that's been going on around the globe. Well, many of you who are down on homosexuals, and I'm not trying to force people into a specific heterosexual or homosexual lifestyle. But those of you who are constantly fixated on that, there's a word for people like you, and that's a homophobe. And I'm sorry to say it, but the more you talk about it, the more you sound like you're afraid of being gay or something. If you just let people be themselves, you don't have to worry about it. But if somebody's hitting on you, that's illegal. That's sexual harassment, and they can be charged with a civil crime for doing that. You're a simpleton, really? Oh, well, you notice that I created a new word called transportility. And it's true. I believe that the English language is a living instrument, and linguistics is changing all the time. I'm trying to see if there is a word called transportility. No, doesn't appear to have a word named transportility. Transportality. Yes, that's what I meant. Transportality. The future of travel. Reimagined. Transportal. Act of transporting. So transportality, that's correct. I'm not going to trademark it. I don't need to trademark words. The mere mention of them online is an actual enforceable trademark. I'm logging it in at this specific time in history, and I can go ahead and sue people later if they try to use that word inappropriately. Not that I'm going to. No, I was not initially homophobic. No. When I was hit on by gay people, I've been harassed throughout my whole life by gay men whenever I was in public areas. Even when I'm with Sarah, the gay men are like going... And that's disturbing because I'm a heterosexual. And I don't look at women's asses going, yeah, I want to do you. But gay guys tend to do that with other men, and that's really disturbing. Iran casts you all over the country on all public TVs. Hey, hello, Iran. Welcome to the show. We know you have... Your lives are of great importance, as all of our lives are of great importance. And I don't see a future war with Iran. I don't. Nor do I see a future war with North Korea. I think we have more problems with our own border than we even understand right now. And Trump hasn't built the wall, the fence that I've been describing, a 1,000-mile fence. He hasn't done the due diligence of creating the fence. This would protect our freedoms against unnecessary attack from south of the border. And we still have nothing like this. A contemporary container fence built to even provide housing and restaurants and they need. But again, Trump is wasting time, and with 3 years into this, we only have, 100 miles of slat fence. I'm sure how he is running around trademarking things. It's not very cheap to trademark things. It's expensive. I doubt if he's trademarking things. But yeah, a simple video record is a form of enforcing a trademark. Well, I don't know anything about your obsession with homosexuality, but I think you all should stop it and just accept the fact that you're a heterosexual and move on. You seem to be living in this wonderment land. It's like you're going through a homosexual panic at a late stage in your life, and God knows why. Have you been eating tofu lately? Because that will lead to some certain gay ideation due to the esters in the soy. Oh, I know we're sick of transsexualism, and that's why I'm not openly supportive of LGBTQ. But I don't want to run around discriminating gays either. You know, our own president has been very, very accepting of transsexualism, and then he turned on all the transgenders in the military and fired them all. Said, you can't be in the military if you're transgender. I got news for you. You lost in court, Donald. I was right all along on that one. I said, no, the courts would have upheld the transgenders in the military. They're going to remain.
You know, you're really beautiful. And a woman that looks like that has to have her own special scent.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you could tell me what you think of this scent.
I like that.
This may be the best of all. Oh, you dirty boy, you. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
You can't say I didn't try. Mayor Giuliani, he's given away over $2 billion in corporate...
There you have it. So even his good attorney, Giuliani, does dress up. So what's the big deal, guys? I mean, at least he's honest about his gayness. Okay, to recap some of the stories today, the military is on high alert in Oman rather. Oman has lost the supreme leader. Sultan Qaboos has died and left no one to take over their throne. Well, this might be a great opportunity for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to offer their services as de facto leaders of Oman. Would that be great if, now that they're breaking away from the royal family, that Harry and Meghan can do maybe a sitcom or a live TV show, episodic TV show in Oman as their new leaders? Yeah, I think it's possible. Shocked the world yesterday when they both announced they're going to become financially independent of the royal family and now moving on their own. Now, we totaled up his wealth and her wealth to be about $30 million. That'll last all of about 3 or 4 weeks at the rate they currently spend money. So they may want to trim their sails and maybe get a nice apartment in, out there in New Jersey somewhere or wherever they want to settle. He could work as a greeter at one of the auto dealerships. You feel the fermenting of tofu in our stomach is destroying America? I agree. Too much emphasis on Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers. They're going to be regrettable burgers pretty soon. And why bother eating burgers? It's like, gee, my entire intestines were locked up with GMO soy for the past 6 years. Do I need another Beyond Burger? Do you think she misses the United States? Where did Meghan grow up? Does anybody know? Did she grow up? Meghan is a lovely lady. She's veggie burger is not even a burger. I agree. I mean, Meghan Markle's net worth is about $5 million. She doesn't talk to her family, so she's not welcome back at the family home, I guess. She's an American member of the British royal family. She lived in the neighborhood of Toronto for a while. She was born Rachel Meghan Markle. I'm just looking up a little information on where she grew up. Might tell me where she's going to land as a future home. That doesn't really look that good. It looks like somebody crapped all over the chat room. She was raised in Los Angeles, California. No kidding. That's my old stomping ground, Meghan. Yeah, I could show you around. I could hang out with you. Give me a ring. That's right. If you're able to call, my number is 707 your ATP. Yes, call me up and I'll show you around Los Angeles, you and Harry. I love it. I could take you to the Bonaventure. She's a Californian, yeah. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Very, very nice demeanor, personality-wise. I see a lot of Princess Diana in her. Yeah, a lot. Very similar. Well, they practically look alike. I mean, let's face it. She claims that she has some African-American ancestry. Is that right? The Queen bragged about having met someone with a... I don't know if that's true or not. But a certain sense of innocence, very similar to Princess Diana. I do believe that Princess Diana was killed. It wasn't an accident. I think there was an attempt to kill her. I'm so sorry. Yeah. We talked about the possibility that Prince Harry may not even be Prince Harry last night. No, the polls at CNN are not up to speed with the real numbers of people that support me. Cummy Kermagin, apparently there's no real recognition of any third-party players out there. It's very two-sided, controlled media and all. They don't want a third-party guy getting in the mix, especially me. No, I'm waiting for anyone to call up with a credible position instead of resulting in name calling. I normally allow people to talk ad nauseum about their issues if they don't name call, but the people that generally devolve to name calling don't have anything really logical to say. I can defeat anybody in an argument. I'm highly trained in verbal combat. No, we don't ban gay talk here. It's free speech. If you want to talk gay, as long as you're not hitting on anybody in the room going, "Hey, Trump-tardo, you're really cute," we don't allow that. So don't call me if you're gay and you want me to become not heterosexual. That would be sexual harassment. Yeah, let's talk about something less interesting, like, more interesting, like the fate of the universe and what role we'll play in the big picture. Do you think we'll have more of an impression upon the eternity than the roaches have had? Who do you think will stand out in history more, humans or roaches? Well, who will survive? That's the question. Roaches will definitely survive radiation. We won't. Okay, we got another story from Scissor Fight. Australian wildfires map versus Australian Hyperloop map. Uh-oh. It's true, the map of wildfires in Australia, and I saw this last night. PK did another one last night too. It happens to match where they're going to put a high-speed rail. It's right there in Australia. The same location as the fires. There's no denying it.
All right, everybody, short and sweet. Hopefully keep this video under 2 minutes. I'm going to try for 1 minute. It's Friday, January 10, 2019. 2020, excuse me, 2020. Why is it that the Australian wildfire is taking place in the exact type of map location that was just announced for the Australia Hyperloop in 2019 at the end of December?
There it is. We'll play more of it later, but yeah, you can see the map up close there. It's having a little problem downloading, or maybe we're just getting DDoSed right now. I don't know. Yeah, it's important to know that fraud was committed by the Obamas. That's why I play the Michelle Obama video dancing with some appendage between her legs. Yeah, I don't want the American people to think that the Obamas got away with what they did. We need to make these people accountable, possibly charge them with a crime, fraud. There's no statute of limitations on fraud. We can charge Obama and his wife or husband, whatever you call it, for fraud well into the future. I believe that they could face some civil penalties, possibly criminal penalties, if we can prove that with a grand jury that they willfully deceived the American people. You've never seen it? Oh my goodness. Well, I played it earlier. I have it on cue. Here it is right now. You got Obama, Michelle dancing with the Ellen DeGeneres show. And you're looking at the swinging appendages between his legs. So Michelle is definitely has not come out as a transgender. I wish she would. She would, but she hasn't done it. And a lot of people are wondering, well, why not? Well, because she would be admitting that she is committing fraud. And that's not good. They could serve jail time, yeah. Did you get enough of it, Real Man's Pilot? You saw it there, right? It's no doubt about it, right? You know, somebody said, Dave, why don't you do Jack Horkheimer's horoscope from when he was still, you know, Jack Horkheimer. He's no longer alive now, but his star show is very relevant. I wonder if there's a Jack Horkheimer stargazer for today. Turns out there is. No, it's not today. Sorry. Yeah, he passed away a long time ago, so I don't really have any Jack Horkheimer from today. I have a tribute to Jack Horkheimer I can play tonight.
Jack Horkheimer loves to introduce the novice to the night sky.
Yeah, so I'll play that tonight for you. Poor guy had a Jack Horkheimer come down reaction. Stargazer. He died August 20th, 2010. I'm not sure what his sign was. Yeah. Greetings, fellow stargazers. Yeah. I can't do... I'll apply some Preparation H and see how that works. Cargo Bob isn't as amazing. David vacuum tube in Missouri. Can you believe it? No. What are you saying? David, was Freud correct when he stated that women have penis envy? Some women do. And Catherine Hornay was correct when she said that some men have vagina envy. So some men and women have that type of thing going on. In fact, Donald Trump has all the signs and symptoms of vagina envy, according to Catherine Hornay. It was not pronounced horny, okay? Her name was Catherine Hornay. Everybody made a joke about her name. How would you like to be named Catherine Horny and talk about sex all the time? No, it was 3 days ago you asked to see Jack Horkheimer. I recall that. I have a copy of it. I have a mnemonic registry of that particular event. Oh, the Roman Catholic Church has dealt with many scandals over the centuries. I strongly suggest you stop spewing anti-Catholic hate. Is that a threat from the Vatican? Because I was brainwashed as a Catholic and baptized as a Catholic. And I consider that a threat from the Vatican. I'm going to suggest that you, sir, are committing an act illegal in this room. The church did not give rise to what we know today as Western civilization, not at all. It enslaved countless people, and look at the population explosion down in South America as a result of the Catholic Church. I can't say it brought civilization to Western culture. Yeah, in fact, I don't know if Juan Aparecero was the only person that was actually bringing Western culture to this country. Yeah, I'm afraid he wasn't the only one. There was countless other explorers that preceded him. What's wrong with you? Are you one of those Opus Days fanatics? We got an Opus Day, a live one over here, Opus Day, threatening people, Catholic militia. I'll report you to the Catholic thought police, and you'll have guilt trips the rest of your life wondering how many Hail Marys you have to say just to get through your masturbation session. You'll be reported. Oh, yeah. I know some very important people at the Catholic Church, one of which is the secretary to the Pope.
Just moments later, at that same hearing, a prosecutor tells the court about the secret deal between Epstein and the federal government.
My clients and I are learning for the first time that not only is a deal done, but that it was done many, many months before.
Wow, this looks like a good one. Thank you, Scissor Fight. The Catholic Church has robbed the world of countless gold bullion. I mean, they've padded their pockets with gold and lined the hallways of their sacred vestibules with gold. In what? A tribute to the golden cow? A violation of the Ten Commandments? Come on. Who are you kidding? Let me tell you something. I'm going to show you a picture of the Vatican Church. And you're going to see a real eye-opener here. Yeah. This is something the Pope has not addressed, and I've asked that the Pope address this problem, but what you're about to see is shocking. This is a picture of the outside of the church, the New Vatican, the snake head. Yeah. And not only is this accurate, you've been kicked, by the way. Not only is this accurate, but it's disturbing to no end. And there's a picture of what appears to be Lucifer, who stands behind the Pope at the papal meetings, and it looks very similar to a picture from Dante's Inferno behind it. Elevated above the demons in the picture are pictures of what appears to be Baphomet, not Jesus. Yeah. So if the Pope can explain why he's put a church out there that looks like a snake head, I'd be glad to respond to that. Yeah. Very creepy, especially considering I didn't worship reptilianism when I went to catechism and got brainwashed by the Catholic Church. You know, they say that Barack Obama grew up in a madrasa and was brainwashed into becoming a Muslim. It's very possible that at 7 years old, that type of thing does happen. I, however, waited till I was 11 to go through that process. And it gave me the reasons that I still possess of why I reject a church that claims to be the only pathway to God. And they called Martin Luther a heretic for claiming that we all have a personal relationship with God. That, to me, what the Vatican said is heresy, that you can't have a personal relationship with God. When did we ban Howie? What was the band name of Howie? Just unban Howie? Okay, unban Howie. Okay, Howie's unbanned. So we got a lot of videos, good ones lined up. To lead off tonight will be Tom Sawyer, one of the best lyrical models of a great generation of 70s music, and Rush was no different than so many other great groups that played. The lyrics of Tom Sawyer are really powerful. I was looking at them earlier and reading them, and this guy was a brilliant writer. A modern day warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. Though his mind is not for rent, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve, a quiet defense, riding out the day's events, the river. What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. The world is, love and life are deep. Maybe as his skies are wide, today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you. Think about it. God, if only this guy was alive, we could actually ask him what all this meant. Wouldn't that be great? Whatever. Boy, we got nobody in our chat room at Cool Rock Party. It's just crazy. Or are they just telling me I've got nobody in there? That's just wild. Like, why even have a Twitch show if we have nobody watching? They've been censoring us ever since we got 10,000 hits in 1 month. Was my priest ever prosecuted? No. I did not have a priest that was prosecuted. I don't sing any songs in the shower. Well, I do occasionally sing Singing in the Rain, but because it's got that whole virtual reality thing going on. Singing in the rain. I do like to sing that in the shower. You know, why are you asking me about my priest? My religion, when I was a child, has nothing to do with my spirituality today. Far different than what we have today. Spirituality has taken on a whole new look. When you have people who are atheists as presidents, break with his church, the Christian United Church of Chicago, and the Down Low Club, where he had gay sex with all of his male butt buddies. Larry Sinclair, Nate Spencer, Larry Blunt. And Donald Young. I mean, all these people that were gay lovers of Barack Obama. I'm amazed that only one's still alive, and that's Larry Sinclair. I mentioned Larry Sinclair, yeah. Breaking news, Ocasio-Cortez cries racism after being called the Ayatollah sympathizers spreading Iranian propaganda. Well, technically, guess 2-4, she is allowed to call people racist, just like we can call her an Iranian sympathizer. Freedom of speech protects both of you. I have a dancing emo of me, if you want to see one. Is that something you get off on? I didn't forget Larry.
The goal for both of them, the goal for the United States, is twofold. As I've stated, it's one, to make sure that we destabilize Syria, destabilize the conflict there.
Yeah, that was the first guy. You notice how Donald Trump's press secretary has taken a back seat, hardly ever says anything out loud? Because Donald is always, he's now doing the press secretary work of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. He nailed it in the old studio that everyone will recognize. The studio was dilapidated when he played the drums as a tribute to Neil. The video came out. Okay, cool. I will play it tonight for sure. Anything that's really cool, that's tribute to Neil, that sounds good. Cool. Thank you for that link, Trump Tardo. Yeah, so I've got a picture of the Dancing Dave if you want to see it. I don't know if it's making your night. Are you still having your homosexual ideation? Thinking you're gay and wondering, getting panicky and thinking that you're attracted to the way I dance? That's sick, man. You need serious help. Ask your doctor if you're gay. Yeah, have him give you the cough test while he holds your testicles. And if you get an erection, that means you're gay. You know that's true. It's been proven. Yeah, the best way to find out if you're gay is to ask the doctor to check your prostate, and he'll stick his finger up your ass, and then he'll ask you to cough. And if you get an erection, then you're gay. It's a simple thing. Just try it out. If you get burned, it's not your fault. Yeah, I think a lot of you are suffering from this homophobia. It's terrible. It's like you're fixated on gayness. It's all you talk about. Dancing Dave. Let's bring it on. Here's my macho approach. The apocalyptic Dave. That's the apocalyptic Dave. That's the man who will survive the Mad Max Dave. Yeah, and then Dancing Dave is a little bit gay, a little bit weird, and I'm not gay, so it's hard for me to play the digital Dancing Dave. I sometimes play this Dancing Dave. This is less gay than the other thing. Yeah, you really want to see it, I can tell. It's like, yeah, Dave, play the dancing Dave. I'm looking for it. Hang on. There it is. As you can see, there's 3 different types of dancing Daves in the picture. There's the real dancing Dave, the Photoshop dancing Dave, and then the guy who would never dance. Which is the real Dave? I'm the real Dave. Okay, we're done here. I just have another 40 minutes to talk to you to fill the space between now and then. So that'll be good. The Spirit of Radio drum cover, Alice Studio, a tribute to the drummer. We got a couple of really good things. Pump Up the Jam, Technotronic. We got some of that coming tonight. I'm anxious to see this woman's dance movement, so let me just give a preview to this. I can't wait to see that. Okay, and then imminent attacks being questioned as the basis for the killing of the Iranian official. So now people are wondering, since Donald Trump said that he really just wanted to appease the Republicans when he ordered the attack on Soleimani, now people are wondering if the statements he made were accurate. Were those imminent attacks real? Or did Donald Trump just lie and say that they were in order to justify the killing of Soleimani? Oh, Soleimani. Now, Iran says it unintentionally shot down the Ukrainian airliner. Oh, they're finally coming forth with the truth. First they denied it, then now they're admitting it. The truth is out, everybody. I'm not wearing a wig. This is my real hair. My God, what's wrong with you people? How many times have we said we've had to deal with this subject every night for the past 11 years? I am accessing incognito, avoiding any access control by the thought police. After maintaining for days that there was no evidence to show one of its missiles had struck the plane, the Iranian military said it was an accident caused by human error. This is not fun. Look at bodies here. This is human error. This is not good. 63 Canadians dead now. Now, if I were Justin Trudeau, I would consider this an act of war. But no, he's not saying anything. Well, that's good. At least he's being nice. A lot of Canadians died on that plane. No Americans. Mostly Canadians traveling to Tehran. Don't we have a trade embargo going on with Iran? No wonder the Canada's... They're slipping stuff over in their suitcases. Well, I'm sorry about their deaths, but isn't this a little weird? 63 Canadians are over in Tehran. There is no wig here, man. This is my real hair. You can't pull on hair like that if it's a wig. Yeah. You're just jealous. You wish you had hair as wonderful as mine. All of you are. I know. Many of you are suffering from male pattern baldness. I can imagine how that must feel. Yeah. It's okay. So finally, Iran admits it is an unintentional crash, unnecessarily killing 176 souls. You can't pull off any hair. You have no hair at all. You're thinking about having your pubic hair transplanted on your hair with hair plugs. Have you contacted pubichairplug.com and had that been retrofitted for the possible? Well, believe me, I'm not that old. I'm only 159 years old. I expect to live at least 500. My model was designed to last a hell of a lot longer than your model. I'll tell you that. Where were you manufactured? You mean you're real? Wow, you're real humans? Oh, that's right. This is 2020. This isn't 2050. Well, back in 2018, the government developed robotic human beings, like Ham.
Meet Ham, a humanoid robot that can smile, frown, wink, or even act drunk, all at the push of a button. Wowing crowds at an electronics fair in Hong Kong, Ham's myriad of facial expressions are controlled by 40 motors. These are covered with a unique human-like skin called frubber, short for flesh rubber.
It's very lifelike, and you would never guess that it is frubber. It's very elastic and perfectly compatible with your human textures. Ham is capable of acting very similar to me. Much like Ham, I am capable of constructing dialogues that seem normal, like humans. Let me repeat. I am not a robot. 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 Repeat. A shoe? Uh-oh. Well, I did see body bags there, guy. You know, you're still saying the crash was faked. What's the point now of saying it was a hoax? Pretending like people died over Iran, and now Iran admitting that they made a very bad error and shot it down? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the hoax motivation here. My name is Dave. I am your host tonight. I will give you absolute information sharing. People say, Dave, what do you do? I am an online chatter. Had some substance in them. Why would you want to make light of the possibility these people really did die? Well, we'll have to figure out why they would hoax us in order to really establish that it was a hoax. I will agree that it could have been blown up in the sky and Meet Ham. I think your upload failed. Unless my download capability is so slow that it's just too high definition. Wow. Meet Ham, the humanoid robot. It almost looks legitimate, like it really is robotic. Yeah. Well, that was the intention. Okay, so Iran has said it unintentionally shot down the Ukrainian airliner. What kind of reparation will Iran make with the Ukrainian people and the Canadians that have lost their life? I don't know. But I can tell you, Iran is handling the affair with Donald Trump very, very effectively. They've managed to minimize any outcome like nuclear war. They targeted with precision various bases in Iraq, guaranteeing that no Americans or Iraqis were killed. So I want to applaud Iran in their effort in restraining themselves in lieu of the monkey of a president we have who's willing to start nuclear war at a moment's provocation. So in this rare instance, I'd like to congratulate the Iranian government in their effort to not respond with terrorizing, devastating consequences. Thank you. I heard Chicago was going to hit with a thunderstorm, a tornado with thunder ice coming at people tonight. Stay indoors, you Chicago people. Hello, new viewer from Jerusalem. Welcome. I am glad to have you. I have viewers in Tel Aviv as well. You're looking at the lightning and the thunder that's coming through the St. Louis right now. It's heading toward you. Wow, ice and snow. Yeah, don't get out there because it could be like a blender, a roto-rooter, that's the name. It can blow through entire townships with razor-sharp ice. Stay indoors. A major winter storm is developing, and we are analyzing this climate change, which of course is not climate change. It's actually weather modification. Many of you don't know that. That's okay. Yeah. Weather modification is climate change. In Chicago, we're going to get real snow, thunder, sleet, ice is going to be unreal. Yeah. It's going to come bearing down on the Chicago area, that's for sure. Wow, 6 to 12 inches. Bloggers. A major snowstorm is developing today over the southern and central plains. Whew, wow. Okay, well, I'm not going to freak out yet. Stay indoors, stay warm, cuddle with your loved one. It can, yeah, Topper Dan. Being a Trump supporter could get you kicked off the channel. Most of our Trump supporters are incognito, like Trump Tardo. He doesn't openly support Trump, but I allow you guys to hang out as long as you don't openly support him. Well, thank you, Jerusalem. Nice to have you in. Some people think I'm anti-Israel. I'm not. I'm just not Zionist. And there are many Israelis that are not Zionists too. Many Orthodox Jews are not Zionist. People don't realize the difference between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. That's right. And you're very creative people. And it's nice to know that we have more world patents filed in Israel than any other country around the world. Isn't that interesting? Very creative, very inventive people. So let's not condemn Jewish people, but let's condemn the Zionist takeover of our world, the New World Order. That's something we have to be worried about. It was awkward for me to start to understand what this meant. And during the early days of our show, we just knew that the elitists were bad people. We didn't realize that they were primarily Ashkenazi in origin. And now we're beginning to realize that it's not Jewish people that are the problem. It's this subgroup of Ashkenazis that have been very greedy throughout history. Hitler was an Ashkenazi and a Zionist. Himmler was an Ashkenazi and a Zionist. Yeah, I just got the story you were voting for Trump, not realizing he's a total liar and a Russian sympathizer. Of course you didn't know that. Even though I've told you 1,000 times, you still deny it. Well, I've been doing great. Topper Dan, you came into our show, I think, in 2011, as I recall. Yeah. I've been doing the show ever since 2008. Same show every day for 6 days a week, nonstop.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV.
Yeah, that was me. And I'm still here. I haven't changed. Their reaction was 50 of their own idiots stampede each other to death during a funeral, and they lobbed airball missiles into 2 bases, failing to... Well, if you're an innocent bystander running away from a country at a time when their top general was just killed in another country, Todd was not disagree on Trump and his purpose here. Mitch McConnell, in fact, checked into it. It's not as tough. Lindsey Graham's getting about the same amount of money, $3 million, from the same oligarch, Len Blavatnik, the representative of Oleg Deripaska, the guy who allegedly rigged our election so Trump would win. These are very damning things that the media isn't even talking about. The Democrats do. That's why we have a two-party problem here. They won't even reveal these facts that I'm showing you. So here's Len Blavatnik's link too. That takes you right to the source of the money. Not something we can ignore, but the Democrats are ignoring it, unfortunately. And I would gladly talk about Pizzagate and the Me Too generation and Epstein, and we do that on a nightly basis. So why bring it up that Bill Clinton is seen posing with a young underage girl here who was his massage therapist, much like Prince Andrew was getting massage therapy allegedly from Virginia Giuffre Roberts. And here he is standing with Ghislaine Maxwell, the reigning recruiter of sex prostitutes, underage sex prostitutes. So Bill Clinton has a lot to answer to, and nobody is asking him any questions. So Donald Trump, the guy you claim is stopping the deep state, won't charge Bill Clinton with a crime, won't charge Hillary Clinton with a crime, won't charge Elizabeth Warren with a crime for defrauding us, claiming she's Cherokee Indian. He won't charge Ilhan Omar with a crime for marrying her brother to make him a U.S. citizen. Donald Trump hasn't charged anyone with a crime. Yet you retardicans continue to say that he's stopping the deep state. Help me out here. Tell me how he's stopping the deep state. I beg you. There's no answer. They have no answers. It's crazy. We get these things. Nobody has any answers to why they think he's stopping the deep state. Oh, you found the U.S. patent for that unidentified flying object? The TR-3B? Whoa. This U.S. patent was developed to create the flying wedge. Whoa, it is. Really, it is kind of the same technology. It is very similar. The craft using an inertial mass reduction device. Wow, that's pretty intense. This is really powerful math, too. The physics involved in this, creating a vacuum of energy polarization can be achieved. Veritably levitating. Did you guys get that? This is like a levitation device. Check it out. Patents are us. Isn't it amazing? Well, the TR-3B, we've been seeing this fly above us for years. Why did they wait till 2018 to put a patent together for this thing? That's kind of strange. I have video of the TR-3B flying above us. Very powerful vehicle. Can I verify it? No. There's no verification of the TR-3B. We are being DDoSed right now. Nobody wants us to see the TR-3B Astra. Okay, apparently it's being blocked. David, we're going to get magnetic levitation vacuums, tubes from St. Louis to Kansas City, across Missouri. It's already done. It's a done deal. It's really going to happen. Are you talking about the sending things through vacuum tubes? Elon Musk is working on that. No. I don't. No. Wait a second. Topper Dan just said that, could it be that Trump is fighting for his life against the lies of the Democrats of the deep state? I'd agree with you if he would file a charge against Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton, but he hasn't done any of that. I even said over 2 years ago that the best defense would be a good offense for Trump, and he never bothered to prosecute any of those people. So I'd agree with you, but Trump is not running a very good defense. Clinging to obstruction of justice, now denying John Bolton the chance to testify in front of a Senate trial. I mean, it's absurd. Trump is committing obstruction every... I think this is the video. Let me make sure. Yes, there it is. Iraq, Baghdad, 2012. TR-3B flying above. Vector coordinate. Sport 70,000 feet altitude. Crisscrossing over a... Whoa! Dropping bombs. Seen above city here. Yeah, it might have been used in various battles. We don't know. You are not allowed to come in and spam the name penis. You have been muted. Learn to speak or grow up, one or the other. Elon Musk, well, it goes back to 1890, dude. We're definitely is going to happen. It's for real. They already passed legislation for it. It's going to save so much money in parcels and people. Yeah, I know. They've been talking about an underground railway for a long time, but no, we can't do that, Trump-Tardo. You've been smoking too much marijuana tonight. You're freaking out, dude. Supposed to get too high on Friday. Is it because you had so much fun? This homosexual lifestyle established, very fit, agile body. He was unable to actually do it, though. Any of the communities above him, he just went ahead and bore a hole under the ground And he can't even build this device that he claims the hypercoil will not be able to actually be built there. He doesn't have the funding to do it. Yeah. The hypercoil can't be... They're actually offering people a fast trip to LAX on this underground line by taking their car. It's absurd. So what are you really saying, Trump Tardo? Now, Joe Pesci, our celebrity chatter, by the way, great job in The Irishman. Yeah, what was your pay for that show? Do you happen to know? What did you get paid for your role in The Irishman, Joe? A roundabout figure. Is a couple $100,000. I mean, just curious. Great job, by the way. Yeah, I'm still watching the movie. It's 3.5 hours long, so it's taking me a while. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Dave. Already been done. They're already passed legislation. They've already funded. It's already going to be in Missouri in the first one. It's like a briefing for you. Yeah, well, thanks, Trump Tardo, but I don't believe it. Okay? Not when he can't even build a hypercoil in LA on a single track. Give me a break. What do you mean The Irishman is a 6-star or 5-star show on Netflix? Why are you trying to not make me watch that? Yeah, well, what did you make? I mean, what does your role give you, like, typically? What did your agent negotiate? A couple $100,000 or? Oh, up with a hypercoil if Elon Musk, because we know what Elon Musk rail, right? What do you mean? No commercials? I mean, how can you say it's government? Joe did a great job. Well, at least you got. Well, keep up the good work, man. You're Valley wine. Well, about your income. The last thing you want to talk about is Trump's dirty little bastard. Wow, that was pretty cool that you wrote that. And you would talk about your income, but you sell penny stocks. Hasn't been anything to brag about this year. I'm sorry. Well, top or down, the stock market has been very, very robust. I'm surprised you haven't been riding the wave. Maybe, I guess Charles Schwab purchased Ameritrade, and they're going to be offering the same deal for a while, but you got to wonder how long this free trading deal is going to last. Sarah took advantage of it. I know. I was just pulling your chain about the penny stocks. Sarah took advantage of the stock market. She's been investing in it. I told her I don't invest, so I invested most of my fortunes in antiquities and rocks and antiquities. I don't really have a big resale potential on my. I have to wait before the moron logs off the chat, Dave. I don't know. Which moron are you talking about? Jacob, are you the moron? I'm going to mute him. Thank you. We'll put him out for 5 minutes to recollect his bearings and decide what to say. Joe, anytime you have a problem in here, just mention it. I'll take care of it. Just like at Bada Bing. You know, you don't like the ladies? We'll get you no lady. We got many places to look. You know what I'm saying? You got Sally over there in the aisle 1. And we got Barbara on the aisle 2. And we got Fiona on aisle 3. Which is your choice? Okay. Off of Reddit, or I was glued to the show. I think I've watched the series twice or 2-3 times. Now, this is bad news. Donald Trump, on top of reporting that he did it for the Republicans so they wouldn't impeach him, which is bizarre considering he said there was adequate information to claim that Soleimani was about to attack our country, Iraq. Now we're finding out that he's targeting another top Iranian military figure. Is this something the Republicans want him to do before they impeach him or not impeach him? I mean, it's almost like he's kissing the Republicans' ass right now. So this new guy, the military figure Abdul Reza Shalai, is a little harder pronounced than Soleimani, so I'm not sure if this will be a big win. It's not like Osama bin Laden, Soleimani, Shalai. I don't know. It doesn't have that big name grab that all the other big attacks have had. But they claim he's a ringleader on a lot of the Iranian state-sponsored attempts of terrorists back as far back as 2011. Incidents that happened between our nation and Iran. It only creates a more disturbing configuration in the Middle East. I'm a little concerned because right now Iran looks rather incompetent. And that's unfortunate because I think they're acting with a level head. Even though there was a terrible accident, they're now admitting that they caused the missile to strike the 737 jet that took it down, that killed 176 people allegedly. But now it seems that they're appearing to the world incompetent, and they don't like that. Even though I think they're acting with a level head. I really do, even though there was a mistake initially. But they're not overreacting to Trump's moves, which show a greater wisdom in this situation. I just hope that their obsession with not losing face doesn't lead them to doing something reckless. That's my concern. Hopefully they won't. Meanwhile, the beat goes on. Greta had to cancel her meeting in Michigan on climate change. This woman, I thought she was going to go home, back to her home country of Sweden. But apparently the Greta's Global Warming Conference was canceled due to subarctic freezing temperatures. Good. We're tired of this very depressed girl who almost seems like she has no clue. All she has to do is talk about how we're going to fix the country, not charge everybody taxes like she's suggesting. We have to simply filter water. Wouldn't that be great? Filter the air. And most of all, end chemtrails. You know, if only we did that, it'd be great. But she won't talk about any of this stuff. We are being attacked right now. Thank you. DDoSing underway. I don't think that's important. Whew. Well, let's take a look. Trump Tardo is putting his money where his mouth is. He actually presented a link of Missouri's Hyperloop technology. Okay. I guess I stand corrected on this one. Yeah. Missouri. Not only does the buck stop here, apparently Hyperloop technology starts here. Introducing the revolutionary Virgin Hyperloop 1. Whoa. Well, I guess Branson is really working hard with the Missouri government. Yeah. Missouri is going to be the first state to reap the benefits of this cheaper, environmentally friendly, radically efficient transportation system. The university's research expertise is a key part of the effort to bring the Hyperloop here. And one reason Missouri is a major contender is because we are the only state with a coalition that includes a research university, engaged government leadership, and a state transportation agency. Well, good. Great. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm not going to say no to technology, especially if it gets efficient transportation on our way. Thank you. Well, great. You got a good article there, Trump Tardo. I'm proud of you, man. You made the turn. That's great. Hey, thank you, Super Dave. And Neil Peart was the best drummer on earth. Scissor Fight has a link showing Neil Peart's incredible drumming ability. Tom Sawyer by Rush, in honor of Neil Peart, the drummer who just died at the age of 67 from brain cancer. Well, I am working on a butt plug topper, Dan, that would be very helpful in getting methane out of the animals' butts. Yes, I've tasked Victory for Cake in Albania to develop a complicated butt plug that will siphon methane out of the anus of the cow. Hopefully Victory for Cake can do it, because he's in a very unique place where he's working with bulls. And there's nothing more disturbing than having a butt plug enter the butt of a bull. So if they can handle that, any cow can handle that, you know? So we're hoping his butt plug technology will be safe and sane for the relevant animals involved. All right, this is exciting. And we didn't talk about Epstein more than once or twice. And you know, I've been very careful to not bring up the impeachment word. I know, because it's understandable.
Can't
You did a brilliant job of editing that, Scissor Fight. That's just hilarious. The more I watch it, the funnier it gets. Tom Sawyer is the cookie cutter trendy song. You should play La Villa Strangolato to truly honor Neil Peart. Okay, happy hour, I will do that for you. No, I'm not into any of that stuff, Xenu. Unlike you, I'm not a pervert. Wow, we got 10-minute La Villa Strangiata. Earl Scheib, I'll paint any car, any color for only $29.95. Well, that's exciting. Can't wait. All the videos we've had. It's overwhelming at times. Sometimes link processing is very, very hard to do. Yes, it is very difficult for me to continue with this discussion. Now, earlier we had the Iranian leader deny.
After taking off, minutes from taking off, he contacted the control tower. And before that, he requested permission to climb up to 26,000 feet. Therefore, it is not appropriate to jump to conclusions. Once the information contained in the black box, we will be able to establish what happens.
Well, apparently they did find out, and Iran did determine that there was an accidental hit of a jet 737 flying out of Tehran to Ukraine. All 176 lives and souls on board dead. It looked like it was an explosion in the air. Now, you can refute whether it happened or not, but either way, Iran does not look good as a result of that. Okay, at least they admitted their error, though. That's a good sign. We've got a video tonight on mysterious new blood bacteria that seems to act like a nanobot. Yeah, if you want to stay up for this, this is in the lineup from Delgado Protocol. We are being DDoSed heavily right now. Yeah. Like nanobot bioweapon. We'll be looking into this tonight. Thank you. We had a major DDoS attack just now, so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the beginning of our evening of videos starts right now, 10 o'clock. So thank you for coming in and participating in our daily show. We do it every day, except Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow with the Saturday show, which is Sustainable Saturday, and our anti-war rally. Join me at 5 o'clock. But until then, watch videos till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be in the room chatting with you as well. Take care. Good night. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, you hardworking people, and some of you people who don't do anything. Try to enjoy your weekend, too, and feel good about yourself, even though you don't get a paycheck. All right.